Transmitting live from the Asylum Studios, deep in the bowels of Southwest Texas. It's the Joe Rooz Show. The show where we talk about anything and everything. Where nothing is sacred, nothing is watered down, and nothing is PC.
Alrighty, hey folks, this is Joe Rooz, and it is great to be with you once again, transmitting live at the Asylum Studios, broadcasting from the Pimple on the backside of Texas, the beautiful city of Eagle Pass. And of course, as always, doing the very best we can to bring you the best quality talk radio we can muster without all the bluster. Welcome to the Joe Rooz Show. And it is 19:06 hours on the 26th of January, 2026. And folks, we got a good show for you tonight. I've been looking forward to this since November. That's how long we've been waiting to get our guest in tonight. November. Remember that. That's perseverance, my friends. Perseverance. But we're going to bring him in here just momentarily. He's got to do the usual housekeeping stuff. So let's kind of get that stuff out of the way. First of all, I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know it's been cold out there through most of the country. It's been cold down here, too, in Texas. This morning, it was 26 degrees when we got started. Tonight, they're talking about sub-zero, possibly, with the wind chills. So very, very interesting stuff going on here. So hope you guys are staying warm, and I hope you're using us to help keep you warm tonight. Also, did you catch the shows this weekend? We had a busy weekend, even though it was a weekend. We did our Saturday crypto show with our resident crypto psychic, Marissa Lee, which was always great. We had a great time talking to her. A lot of really good information out there. If you haven't checked the show out yet, please do so. Please go check it out. And then, of course, we had our Sunday show yesterday. If you didn't check that out, you need to. It's a good one. So make sure you go over there and do that. And then, of course, I just want to remind everybody that this is a live show, weeknights, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And please don't forget also to help us spread the word about the show. And you do that very, very simply by clicking that like button, the subscribe button, the share button. Follow us wherever it is you're following, whether it's on the video, the audio. We're all over the place. So come on over, check us out, and hang out with us for a little while. You might have a lot. We have a lot of fun on this show. Well, at least we try to. Anyway, we try to keep it easy and smooth, and have great conversations. That's the whole point of this thing. We've got to keep talking about everything. So we're going to do that and keep going with that. So check us out. Watch the show. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, your family, followers. Help us spread the word. All right, let's get into the housekeeping stuff here with the sponsors. So podhome.fm. Podhome is the most modern and easy-to-use podcast hosting platform you are going to find. Podhome is a fantastic platform. Been on it for 3 years now. They are incredible. You can use it to publish your audios, your episodes, enhance your audio, automatically generate chapters, titles, transcripts, show notes. You could, if you're intrepid enough, you could even include chapter art. For each chapter of your show, you can put a different piece of art for it. I can't do that. Way too many chapters in my shows. I'll be here for a month doing that stuff. But try it out. Check out Podhome. You can even podcast live, which is what we do as well. Not only are we doing a live video, but we're also live on audio. And you can check that out on all the modern podcast apps. And you can also check it out by listening on our website. We have a great HTML media player that Podhome provided for us. And it's great. It's fantastic. You can listen to the live show. You can check out the archived episodes right there as well. Podhome gives you everything that you need for one affordable subscription of $15.99 a month. That's it, just $15.99 a month. And you know something else you can do? You can also get a website of your own from Podhome. They will provide you a website free of charge, no additional charge. A beautiful website too. You can even bring over your own domain if you want to use your own domain. So you can check them out right there on podhome.fm. And also now they added the ability to upload your video. So you'll be able to upload your video into your distribution and send all that out, and it'll be available as an option to your listeners on the audio feeds on all the modern podcast apps. So you need to check them out. Really, really great things going on over at Podhome. And again, $15.99 a month. You're not going to beat that. You're not going to beat it. Guarantee it. And if you sign up today, you get 30 days free. So head over to podhome.fm. That's podhome.fm. Also, I just want to remind you to check out our website, joerooz.com. That's joerooz.com. Go over to the contact section, open up that little pancake, send us over a message. Use the contact form. Let us know what you're thinking. Any questions, comments, cares, or concerns that you might have. Maybe you have a complaint. You shouldn't, but maybe you do. Send it on over to us. Let us know what you're thinking. Maybe you have an idea for a guest or a particular subject you'd like us to talk about. Send it on over to us. Let us know. Love to hear from you guys. If you don't want to use the web form, fine by me. That's why we have an email address, just info@joerooz.com, info@joerooz.com, or you could actually drop a comment down below. If you're watching on Rumble or YouTube, you can do that very, very easily, and we'll be sure to respond to it. All right, so make sure you check it out, joerooz.com, and also check out the support page. If you can help us out with a donation, if you have the means to do that, we would really, really appreciate that. All right, this guest tonight is brought to us by Podmatch, podmatch.com. Most podcast hosts and guests spend hours researching connections, coordinating interviews, and working on the administrative tasks while only spending a measly 10% of their time on what matters, recording impactful podcast episodes. Podmatch enables podcast guests and hosts to reclaim their time through automations and streamlined processes so that they can focus on creating content that actually serves the listeners. So check out podmatch.com/member/Joe. Check out our profile, and you could sign up through it, and you might one day be a guest on our show. That would be great, wouldn't it? So check them out at podmatch.com/member/Joe. That's podmatch.com/member/Joe. And thank you to Podmatch for bringing us together here with our guest tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking with Alexander Dunlop, a Harvard-trained philosopher, former Wall Street consultant, and author of Play Your Cards Right. Alexander is the creator of the Source Cards, a system that interprets a regular deck of playing cards as a symbolic blueprint for life patterns, purpose, and personal evolution. Now, we're going to explore a little bit about how he discovered this system, what the 52-card deck represents, how people can use it to better understand themselves and their path. And we're going to talk about my cards, because we pulled my cards right back when first made contact with you guys, and really excited about what you're going to tell me about it. So, welcome, Alexander Dunlop.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
This is awesome, man. Like I said, I've been looking forward to this for a while. So I think we're going to have a really great conversation here, and I think that a lot of people are going to get something out of this, because I know I certainly did. I learned a lot about myself in pulling these cards and reading the descriptions that came along with it.
Right.
I mentioned prior to the show that there are some things I need to work on, but I think that's a good thing, no?
Well, it shows us where we're going in life, and it gives us a template. If we want to work on things, it shows us what we could work on to make our lives more harmonious, more synchronistic. It's a simple, easy template. It was all hidden in plain sight, and what we've all thought was just a deck of playing cards.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get into all that in a second. I do have a couple of icebreaking questions that I'd like to ask our guests.
Go ahead.
So what's something people get wrong about you that you enjoy correcting?
Oh, God.
Did I pick a good one for you?
I'd have to stretch my brain about that. What's something that people get wrong that I enjoy correcting? I don't enjoy doing any corrections like that, I must say. What's coming to mind, it's not exactly answering your question, but it's what's coming to mind. I feel like most of my life, I dealt with the people confused my kindness for weakness scenario. And it's in my cards. I'm born to play the 9 of Hearts. I'm very emotional, all heartfelt. I'm very sensitive. People thought I was gay whenever they would meet me for many, many years. I'm not, but I'm so feminine, air quotes, that people thought I was. And many, many times I've had that kind of situation where people would mistake my kindness for weakness. And that was not a pleasant thing. So I didn't enjoy correcting that. But that's what's coming to mind.
That's good, though. I like that. That's a good one, because I'm kind of in the same path as you on that one. I frequently have been taken advantage of until I realized it, and I put my foot down and had to make those corrections myself.
Yep.
And it wasn't the easiest thing to do. You know, it kind of pushed a lot of people away, but I guess those are the kind of people that you don't want in your life.
Well, it's true. And just to get right into it, you're born to play the King of Hearts, and it's all based on math. So when you say pulling the card, it's based on math. So here I'm actually correcting you, and maybe, I'm enjoying this correction. It's a mathematical algorithm that determines your cards. It's a little bit like in astrology, the planets just are where they are when you're born. The card that you're born into is based on math, and you're born into the King of Hearts, and I'm the Nine of Hearts. So we would have that in common, where we're very emotional. And as men, that's not something we're taught or encouraged to do, and it's considered to be a weakness.
Right.
So we would have that in common.
So what was your life like before discovering the source cards?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a long answer, and we can get right into it. In that I was on a quest, and I didn't fully know that at the time. But starting at age 17, I grew up Roman Catholic, kind of agnostic, whatever. And when I was 17, my Roman Catholic high school offered a retreat for 3 days to get out of school. And this was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and the retreat center was on the beach. And so it was 3 days to get out of school to hang out with my friends on the beach. I'm like, yeah, sign me up. On the last night of the retreat, a priest came to talk to us about walls around our hearts, walls that block out God's love. And it was very moving talk, very emotional for everyone there. Afterwards, I wanted to go talk to him. It was the first time in my Catholic upbringing of going to Catholic school that I'd ever actually wanted to talk to a priest. I went to sit with him in what would be called face-to-face confession in this kind of retreat center setting, linoleum floor, fluorescent lights overhead, empty cafeteria space. And I don't remember what I said to him, but afterwards he stood to pray for me, the traditional prayer of absolution that I'd heard many times in my youth. He put his hands on my forehead, and the moment that he did, something went whoosh right through my body, like water, like electricity, and this split-second flash, unmistakably from head to toe, and it left me feeling washed clean. And in that moment, I also realized that there was something real behind all the religious mumbo jumbo, all the dogma. And I didn't know it at the time, but that experience launched me on a quest to figure out, what the heck is this all about? Why am I here? What's the meaning of life? What are we doing here as people? And so what was my life like before I discovered the source cards? I was on a long journey, turning over every stone I could find, meeting with every guru who came to town. I went to Catholic seminary. I thought I would want to be a priest myself. Before that, I became a born-again Christian. Meanwhile, I was studying philosophy at Harvard, as you mentioned, working on Wall Street, the whole corporate track. But parallel track was me searching for the meaning of life. And then psychedelics, ayahuasca ceremonies, you name it. I tried it, looking for, what am I doing here? What's the meaning of my life? And then the day after I was going through my divorce from my first marriage, I went out to a party in Brooklyn, and I saw an old friend from Burning Man. So I used to go to Burning Man. And he's like, hey, what's your birthday? I was like, August 30th. Why? And he's like, he's like, oh, your birth card is the Nine of Hearts. Keep in mind what I was going through in my life. Your birth card is the Nine of Hearts. That means in this lifetime, you're going to go through tragic endings of the heart. You're going to have to learn how to let go and move on. So it was like a deja vu kind of moment. The air got thick around me and my knees got weak. My palms got sweaty and mom's spaghetti came. No, but I really had a moment of like, whoa, what? That was my first real introduction, the first introduction to the real meaning of the playing cards. And I was skeptical. I was like, that can't be. But I think because I had already searched everywhere and tried everything else as a means to find an answer, human design, gene keys, Vedic astrology, Mayan astrology, you name it. So I think because I had already searched everywhere else and hadn't found it, and somehow had within me the idea that there's got to be an answer, that I'm not giving up until I find it. So like slowly, I started processing, meditating on, digesting, what is this all about? But we can get into that. But that's what my life was like before I met the source cards, before I found the real meaning of these cards. It was a long journey. It was a long quest.
So what moment made you realize that the deck of cards was more than just a game to you?
Well, that first moment where my friend was like, this is the meaning of your life. And I like, oh my God, that is my life. Because I've had many moments like that. You mentioned about letting go of friendships when we put our foot down. I've had many moments like that where I've had to let go of people and move on. And that is the pathway of the Nine of Hearts, is emotional transcendence. You let go and you move on. You let go and you move on. And it's not easy because it's painful to let go of people who I care about, who I love, friends, family members.
Yeah.
And yet that is the pathway. And so it just made sense of my life in a split second, in an instant. And interestingly enough, I was doing a reading for a woman today who also has done a lot of study on herself. And she's an older woman in her 60s, very spiritual. And I was reading her cards for her. She's born to play the 10 of clubs, and she had tears streaming down her face. It's just so simple and so accurate that it brings everything into focus. And that's what I like about it. I like how simple it is, and I like the visual patterning of it too. It's all in the visual symbolism.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing this?
Professionally, since 2011.
Okay. All
And
right.
it's been a long slog, I will say. I was convinced that within 5 years of starting, I'd be on Oprah reading her cards for her, and it just hasn't happened.
Not yet.
It's taken a little longer than I thought to get people interested, and like, you're interested, and like, oh, I want to talk to you, I want to find out. But it's taken a while for
Yeah.
people to get interested.
So now I was reading on the website that the cards mirror the cycles of life.
Mhm.
So can you explain that? How do 52 cards mirror the cycles of life?
Are you talking about the yearly calendar?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good place to start. So there are 52 cards in the deck, just like there are 52 weeks in the year. There's the 4 suits, the hearts, clubs, diamonds, spades, and there's 4 seasons in the year. There are 13 cards in each suit, from the ace to the king. There are 13 weeks in each season. Now, here's where I think it gets really interesting.
Okay.
You add up the numbers. So the ace is worth 1. Then you have the 2 through the 10. Jack, queen, king are worth 11, 12, 13. So you add up the numbers. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. For all the 52 cards, if you add all the numbers together, what do you think you get? It's a pop quiz. You didn't know you were going to be quizzed
No, I
tonight.
didn't know it was going to be quizzed.
Yeah, it's a
365.
pop quiz.
Yeah,
What's that?
365. 365.
Yeah, close. 364.
Okay.
The Joker is the 53rd archetype, 53rd symbol, and his numeric value is represented as a fraction. He's the 5th part of a 4-part system, the hearts, clubs, diamonds, spades. So his numeric value is 5/4, or 1 1/4. Put him back, you get 1 1/4, 365 1/4. When you add it all up, it's an exact replica of the solar year.
Wow.
What's more interesting, I think, too, is that we don't know how old this deck is. It shows up in medieval Europe in the 14th century, but then there's ancient variants in China, Egypt, and there's speculation about where it came from. We don't know how old these cards are. What's interesting, though, is that here you have this deck of unbound. It's an unbound deck. It's an unbound book that represents the seasons and cycles of life on Earth. It's an accurate representation of life on Earth. What I realized in my own research, in my own meditation, is that in ancient times, this would have been known as a book. It's a little book of our life on Earth. Like books of the Bible didn't have bindings and they were still known as books.
Right.
This would have been known as a book. And so what it means, and this is the punchline, is that this little deck was actually once known as the Book of Life, the same book of life that the Bible references.
Really?
So where we've all thought, myself included, as a student of theology, that the references to the Book of Life in the Bible were allegorical or metaphorical, will be written in the Book of Life, or we're told on the last day of judgment, we're going to be judged based on what we've done as it's written in the Book of Life. Actually, I think those ancient writers knew about this little book, and they were pointing to it in oblique and indirect ways, but they knew about its existence. So I find that fascinating. And it's also to me fascinating that the Bible, when you really look at it, and I didn't see it this way until I noticed it either, the Bible points to another book as the book of authority. If we want to take in our Western tradition, the Bible as the canonical religious text, okay, great, let's do that. within the Bible, it points to another book as the final source of guidance, judgment, because the Bible repeatedly points to the book of life as the final arbiter of our life on earth, that we want to be in the book of life and written in the book of life. So there's a lot in there that we can unpack, but that was very interesting to me as a student of theology to see that reference, and that maybe it was just hidden in plain sight all this time, and God makes foolish the wisdom of the world, that kind of thing, that we've all thought it was just a deck of cards. But what if it really is the book of life?
That's fascinating. And honestly, I never would have thought it to look at it that way. I never would have thought of that.
Right.
That's wow. You blew me away with that one.
That's what I'm here for. Thank you. It blew me away. It's like, I'm like, whoa, oh my goodness. Like that's what this is. And I'll tell you this as I don't know what's the right way to say this. I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it, proof of what I'm talking about. Having done this work now professionally for 15 years, I've done thousands and thousands of readings for people, and it's always accurate. It's always accurate. Knock on wood. It's always accurate. And it always shows us, whether we take it or not, we don't have to take the guidance from it or not, but it does always show us the path. It shows us the way to be in harmony with ourselves, to be in tune with ourselves. And when I started coaching people 15 years ago, I was surprised to find, because I didn't expect this, that when people took my advice, and whatever their card is, their birth card, I'm like, okay, that's your card. So the best way to play that one is to do this, this, and this.
Right.
And then they'd come back to me and be like, everything's falling into place in my life. I what? And that was another big realization for me, that these cards really do show us the patterns of our life in a way that, if we want to, because we still have free will, we can choose consciously to align our decision making with what these cards recommend for us or suggest for us, symbolize to us. And when we do that, synchronistically, everything starts to line up. The right people show up, the right doors open. I had one woman, I did a reading for her in the morning. She was looking for a job. And I told her, like, okay, here's how you need to align your energy. That afternoon, she called me back. She hadn't been able to get a job in months. She called me back. She's like, I got a job offer this afternoon.
Wow.
The only thing that had changed was her own conscious awareness of how she needed to line up her energy.
So how do you respond to skeptics of this?
Just bring it on. Let's go. Let's have a conversation. I was very skeptical at first. As they say, the proof is in the pudding.
Right.
The theoretical, there's plenty of room to be skeptical about the theory. How could it be based on the playing card? How could it be based on the calendar? Everybody born on the same day has the same card. How could that be true? There's plenty of things to poke at. And I did for years. I poked at it. But the proof is in the pudding, in that when you start to, as I mentioned, you start to apply it in your life and you notice that it works, that's when it's undeniable for people. Yeah. But some people don't get there because they're like, nah, that's not for me. That's not my cup of tea. Yeah, oh, that's interesting, but yeah. And they'll never fully know. And that also is very similar to what I believe is the real teaching of Jesus, which is you taste and see for yourself and you put it into practice for yourself. And that's when you discover the keys to the kingdom. But you won't find it unless you're willing to take action. And that's when you'll find out that it's true or not based on any theoretical discussion of it.
That makes sense to me. Now, I agree. Now, one of the first things that went to my mind, just like you said, as far as being a skeptic, or something a skeptic might poke a finger at, is, well, how is it possible that, there are millions of people with my birthday. How would they all have the same cards that I have?
I know.
It's kind of hard to wrap your mind around a little bit.
It still is for me. What I have seen, though, is that, so can we talk about your cards as an example?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was going to go into that next.
Yeah. So you're born to play the King of Hearts. So everyone on your day, because it's all based on the day, Oh, here we go. Look at you. You got it all pulled up.
Somewhat prepared.
Yeah. You got the King of Hearts as your birth card, and then the Four of Clubs is your personality, and then the other one is a birthday card. Yeah, anyone born on your day has the same cards to play.
Mm-hmm.
What it means is you will have the same themes.
Okay.
That's it. How you choose to play it is entirely up to you, based on your background, your parenting, your religion, your schooling, your culture, your DNA, your family history. All of that will influence how you choose to play it.
Okay.
So you're here to be a leader of people. That's the King of the Heart. And how you choose to be a leader of people, that's entirely up to you. The Four of Clubs as your personality, clubs is the mind, hearts is the heart, obviously enough. Diamonds is the physical, the body.
Okay.
The spade is an acorn, and the acorn is a symbol of the pineal gland, the third eye. And classically, the acorn was always a symbol of that. Clubs is the mind. So your personality of the Four of Clubs means you like to gather knowledge and organize it. It's a box. You can see the visual pattern. You like to gather knowledge and organize it. You like to talk to people like me and get information that can be useful to you. So that's how you will show up as a leader of people. You lead through the knowledge that you offer.
That's amazing, because really it is me in a lot of ways. There are some things I need to improve on, of course, in that, because it goes further than just when you draw when you get these cards.
Yeah.
When you actually click on this, and I'm signed in, so I get a little bit more information than if I wasn't. So let me let me share this one here. Okay. So I don't know how clear that is, but I don't know if I can make it bigger. Let me see.
Oh, there you go.
That look better?
Yeah.
Right. So, all right. So, can you explain what the green face and the red faces are for?
Well, the green face means happy. Red, sad face, sad. When my wife and I designed this site, we wanted to show very simple, and these are just a few items. I mean, there's a whole lot to know about each of the personal patterns, career patterns, etc. So the website gives you a taste, gives you an overview. And we thought about using positive, negative as the symbols, but we didn't necessarily want it to be that stark or that simplistic, that it's positive or negative. It's more about like what makes you happy and what could bring sadness into your life.
Okay.
So we settled on the idea of green smiley faces and red sad faces. And you're the first person who's ever asked me about why we chose that. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, you see, there's seeking knowledge.
Yeah.
And I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being serious.
No, I'm with you. I appreciate the question. It's just funny to me. No one's ever asked me that before. Why'd you pick that to do that? So
yeah, well, when I first started reading this and familiarizing myself with the system and how it works, I took it as, okay, well, if I'm living my life according to being an author, a creator, a leader of love, of a love that's truly unconditional, and so on, that's where I should be. But if I'm being bossy, controlling, that's things I need to improve upon and work on. That's kind of how
you're right, and the reason and you said it. The reason why we put it the way we did is we didn't want to make it like a should or a judgment for people.
Mm-hmm.
Like you should be doing this. It's just, this is what will make you happy and this is what will make you sad. It's not you shouldn't do it or you should do it. It's these are the possibilities. These are the variables. And some of them will have happy results and some of them won't have happy results. But we wanted to take, as much as we could, we wanted to take the moral judgment out.
Yeah, and honestly, a lot of this stuff is like spot on for me. And I was really, really surprised by that when I first looked at it. I was like, "There's no way," Right. And that, I think that intrigued me even more to really want to get into this a little bit deeper than just what's on the surface here. This is just to me, this is fascinating, and I think the the folks that have come before us had a lot more wisdom than people think, a lot more
Absolutely.
knowledge than people think.
Absolutely.
People seem to think that we are at the, we're ascending in our intelligence, in our wisdom, and so I don't think so. I think we're actually degrading, and I think those generations, millennia past, had so much more knowledge and so much more awareness
Mm.
than we do today. We think we're so smart. We think we're so intelligent and so um,
Yeah.
alert and alive, but I don't think so. I think that we have lost something somewhere along the way, and systems like this that we really can't even put a finger on as to how old it is
Right.
tells us that.
Yep.
Because you look at this thing again, not knowing how exactly old this system is, and it is spot on
Right.
in a lot of ways. And to me, this is an absolutely fascinating study. And wow.
Well, thank you. I fully agree. Like the old, I'm dating myself a little bit. The old commercial that went, I liked it so much, I bought the company. I don't know, did you ever see that commercial, the Remington razors?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm dating myself there too.
Okay. So you're in there with me. I remember that because this is me. I found this and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to tell everybody about this. And I started the first professional coaching practice. There were other people doing card readings. They were more like fortune tellers because you can do fortune telling with these cards if you want.
Mhm.
To my knowledge, I don't want to have anyone blow me up, but just to give that caveat, to my knowledge, I started the first professional coaching practice to coach people to play their cards right. My family thought I was crazy. Like, what? I'm like, no, mom, this is what I want to do. She said, when are you going to get a job? I'm like, mom, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do with my life because I think everybody needs to know this. And again, it's been a long journey since 2011. It's been very challenging to say the least to raise two kids and have, be financially solvent doing this for my living. But it mattered so much to me that a leap of faith. Okay, I'm going to do this because people need to know this. And I agree with you that we've lost something, but where I would disagree with you is I don't think we're degrading. I think we're going through a paradigm shift. I mean,
Okay.
there's a lot of turmoil and tension in our society and in our world. And I think it's the birth pangs of a new paradigm. And I think these cards have come back to us now into our waking consciousness because they will be a vehicle, maybe not the only vehicle, but they will be at least one of the vehicles that will help us create a more enlightened society. It takes us out of the binary of red team versus blue team or Christian versus Muslim. It takes us out of that binary. It shows us that actually this 52 factorial system of reality, where 52 factorial mathematically is basically an infinite number, but it's finite. We live inside a finite construct, but with infinite variety within it. And it's not just you have to be this one way or you have to be this one way. For you to play your cards right is very different than for me, than for someone born to play a seven of diamonds or six of clubs. And it's not better or worse. It's not right or wrong. You have your way, I have my way. But we haven't looked at life like that. We've looked at life through this moral lens of right and wrong. You got to follow what we tell you or you're wrong. And then everybody's trying to do that to everybody else. And that's the conflict and that's the tension. So I think that these cards have come back to us to show us the way to build a more enlightened society.
You might be right.
I hope so.
I'm not going to disagree with you. Something does need to change. There's way too much polarization in our society right now, and I think we're at a tipping point. And you are seeing things like this come out more, and more and more and more. And I think that's something. I think that well, how do I put it? I guess the universe is like kind of pointing you in a certain direction here, and or at least trying to catch your attention and point you to something that can benefit society.
Absolutely. And again, the only thing that's required is to taste and see for yourself.
Mhm.
Does it work for you? Is it helpful? Does it illuminate your life for you? Does it help you make sense of your life and your relationships? Does it help you make better decisions? Great. Then use it. If not, don't worry about it. Right? It's different than this intellectual skepticism. It's more just try it out. Take it for a test drive. Eat that broccoli, see if you like it. Maybe you're gonna like the broccoli. You don't know.
You never know.
Try it out.
And I will say this: since I did this, since I went to the website and I drew those cards out to see what they were, and I looked at that list that I just had on the screen before, the green faces and the red faces, and the things that were in the red, I've made a conscious effort to improve on. Do I catch myself getting into one of those modes? Well, then let me reset myself here and go the opposite direction from where I was going, where it said, being bossy. I have a tendency to be a little bossy. It's just
all kings do.
So so I gotta work on that a little bit,
Sure.
because I don't always like to be bossy. I don't want to be like that. I want to be able to, because I am a director. I do not a director like a movie director. Like in the company I work for, I'm a department head. So I am in a leadership capacity, and I have to be careful of that. I have to be careful, when stupid pops up around me, things that I've told you 9 million times, over the course of 10 years,
Right.
I gotta check myself. But the point I'm saying is that these cards have helped me.
Really?
They
Just
have.
in the last couple months.
Just in the last couple of months, I've made some really interesting changes in my life based
Wonderful.
upon what these cards were,
Wow.
and they've been helpful.
That you just made my day. Thank you.
No,
That
it's
makes me really happy to hear that. This is a vocation for me. This is a calling. Yes, it's a business as well.
Mhm.
But there's a reason why we give so much away for free on the website is we want people to have this and use it in their life. And I'm really happy to hear that you've been able to use it for that purpose.
Right, and you do offer paid services.
Yeah.
I've seen that up there, so you can get. But just in that little bit of information that I've gotten, which really isn't a little bit, to be quite honest.
It's yeah.
You know,
Again, it's a vocation. We want to be very generous with it, and we want people to have it.
right. But in just what I have access to right now has impacted my everyday.
I'm very happy to hear that.
And that's a gift. It really and truly is.
Thank you.
And I am a Christian. I am a born again Christian, but I don't see anything in this that in those things that you had listed there for me that are
Right.
anywhere contradictory to my faith.
Absolutely not. Thank you
know?
for saying that. I appreciate that too. I think that's I've had all kinds of people as clients, Orthodox Jews, devout Muslims, Buddhists,
Mhm.
but the one group of people that I have not had as clients are born again Christians. And when I say it to them, typically it's like, "Ooh, the devil's Bible," or "Ooh, playing cards, bad." And what I think is that in the Middle Ages, the church did a heck of a good job with propagandizing people
Mhm.
that these cards are bad. Keep in mind that this was the same time where popes were fathering illegitimate children and having their own private harems. That was what was going on in the church at the time. And their propaganda that they put out, that these cards are the devil's Bible, the devil's picture book, because that's what they said that they were.
Mhm.
It works so well that it's still rippling down today into the consciousness of people. So I really appreciate that you're
No.
open-minded enough to take a look at this for yourself.
Yeah, it's just an honest assessment of it,
Yeah.
and for myself. I mean, there may be somebody else that they wouldn't, like you said, wouldn't have the same reaction that I did, or see results like I did. But it's an individual thing, and something you have to be open to looking at. I look at it as this is not a religion. This is
No.
not this is something that is geared toward my personality,
Yep.
and I see myself in this stuff, and it helps. The decisions that I've made based on these cards have really helped me,
Yeah.
and that's something I appreciate. It's fantastic. Now, I was going to ask you if you can give me a transformation story, a real life transformation story. I don't know if you want to count mine as one, but
Yeah, I mean, there's many. I mean, there's the fun little ones that I kind of hinted at where something shifts for someone instantly. It's I've got like hundreds of examples popping through my head all at once. It's like, which one do I pick? I'll give like the kind of the background of it. It's all about people consciously choosing to play their cards right.
Right.
So to use your example, the more you consciously choose to be emotionally intelligent, because that's the king of the heart, in how you respond to people, rather than having the temptation to be a bully or a tyrant or kind of a dictator, the more you respond instead with emotional intelligence, with compassion, with love, the more you'll find that things line up and get easier for you.
I agree.
So this is what I found. And so here's one example that's coming to mind. A woman came to me. She was like a senior vice president. I'm in New York City, so I have some of these types of clients. She was a senior vice president at a big Fortune 500 company. And we actually, interestingly enough, we met because her daughter and my son were in the same elementary school class. And she was there for a career day, and so was I. And she gave her like corporate presentation, and then I got up and talked about playing cards. But then afterwards, she was like, "That's interesting," and so she became a client. But anyway, she was thinking that she needed to quit her job, and she told me she felt like she'd hit that proverbial glass ceiling, where she wasn't getting promoted because she was a woman, she had kids. It was a boys' club, man's world, and she's like, "I love my job, but I think I need to leave because they're not promoting me." Like, okay, so what are your cards to play? We get into it. She was born to play the 8 of diamonds with a king of spades personality. The king of spades, which is the most powerful archetype in the deck. That's her persona, how she shows up. Powerful, masculine, authority. The 8 of diamonds is the alpha. That's like the leader of the wolf pack. So she's got cards to play where she's the alpha and the king. Like, you're born to be a boss.
Yeah.
And she's petite. She's a 5 foot tall woman, petite Filipino woman. And I was like, how did you get the idea that you're not meant? Because she would say to me, she's like, I think I'm supposed to be a leader, but I feel like it's arrogant. I feel like it's arrogant of me to assume that I'm here to be a leader. Like, well, where did you get that idea from? Well, I'm the youngest of 5. I got 4 older brothers, and they always teased me and picked on me, and I was always the little girl.
Okay.
Like, oh, well, that's your mindset. That's how you were raised. That's the imprint. So it didn't happen all at once, but gradually through the coaching process of helping her to unravel that and let go of that old conditioning and programming, she started to accept and believe that she really was here to be a leader, to be an alpha, to be a boss. She called me up one day. She's like, Alex, guess what? You're not going to believe it. I just got a promotion. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, I didn't, like, it came unexpected. All of a sudden, my boss called me in and he's like, yeah, we're tapping you to lead the Asia Pacific Rim Division. And I'm like, whoa. And so stuff like that happens where all of a sudden the person is accepting, they're in tune, they're in alignment, and they get what they want. It just sort of, quote, magically happens. The door magically opens.
Yeah.
Because they're in resonance with it. They're in tune. And here's where it converges with a lot of like law of attraction teachings and things like that, where you attract what you resonate with. And that's what happens when we start to play our cards right. We get in tune with ourselves. We're not working against ourselves. We're not struggling against our own inner truth. And then we're in the place and in the harmony for everything to show up in our life.
Well, you know, I have actually an interesting story, a personal story for myself, because as you were talking about that, I kind of put some pieces together and similarities in the story that I cannot talk about on the show. I would have to tell you off the show.
Okay, we can talk off the show.
Yeah, there are other factors involved, and I can't want to get into that stuff. But it's very, very interesting, and it all comes down to playing the card correctly. You know, there were things in my cards for something that just took place in my life in the last couple of weeks that I paid attention to what the cards were telling me as far as my personality goes and so on and so forth. And I was conscious of what I was doing and saying, and it turned out for something incredibly good for me.
Wow.
But
that's fantastic.
But I can't.
Oh, tell me off the air.
Yeah, exactly. but it works, and it does. And I'm not just saying that because you're sitting here in front of me. It's not like that at all.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've shown the website to many people, and quite a few of them have shown a lot of interest in it. And so, I'm trying to do my best here
Yeah,
to
thank
help
you.
out as much as I can.
I really
Um,
appreciate that.
no, listen, it's a privilege, man. Now you have a book,
Mhm.
um, Play Your Cards Right.
Mhm.
So, what's the core message of the book?
The core message of the book is that the ancient book of life has been found and it was hidden in plain sight. And now we can read it for ourselves.
Mhm.
And when we read it for ourselves, we know our life, who we are, why we're here. We're able, as you've already said, to make conscious decisions that are in alignment, that make situations go better for us.
Mhm.
One of the things that I grappled with early on when I was still skeptical is like, okay, if this is like a mathematical matrix, because I'd seen the movie Matrix, I'm aware that there can be evil matrices out there that
Mhm.
are not what we want. Okay, is this a good matrix, is or not? And one of the things that I noticed is that, as I said, when people start to play their cards right, everything lines up for them. So then I started to realize, oh, if nothing else, these cards actually are a proof of the intelligent design of our reality.
Right.
It's a mathematically precise system. It's not an evolutionary mishmash that came together out of an accident. Actually, it's proof of an intelligent design of our reality. And so that it just gave me more awareness, let's say, and consciousness that everything the Bible is talking about is true. It's just now we can understand it at a deeper level that makes sense to me and has helped me in my life. I would say I'm still a follower of Jesus.
Mhm.
I'm not a Christian. That's a different story, but I still believe in Jesus. And as you said, nothing in this contradicts what it would mean to be a disciple of Jesus. It just gives us more precision. It shows us how to live in harmony with ourselves. Um, and so that's what I attempt to talk about in the book, that we have this pattern, we have this template, and it shows us the intelligent design of reality and of our lives.
So, how can people that are listening start this system today?
Go to the website as you did and go to the sourcecards.com, put in your date of birth right in the home page and start poking around, start playing around. As you mentioned, we give away a lot. People are like, why are you giving away so much for free? I want people to have this. This is a
Yeah.
mission. And so you can look around on the website. You can get my book. You can book a reading with me or my wife. And we have classes. There's a lot there. It's a lot to dig into. It seems simple, but as soon as you start unraveling it, peeling the layers, there's a lot in there.
It's like peeling an onion.
Very much so.
Yeah, and it is. And I know that's a cliche, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
Um, as much as I've been going over your website, I mean, what other resources are there other than just your website that someone can go to get more information on this stuff?
Sure. There's an organization, the International Association of Cardology, that I'm one of the founding members of,
Okay.
started by Regina Diamond. She's the woman who founded it. I don't personally like saying it's cardology, but she calls it cardology, and that's kind of like the generic term for it, like astrology, cardology. And so I can't think of the name of the website off the top of my head, but if you search
We'll find
International
it.
Association of Cardology, it'll come up. And then she's got a lot of resources there that you can look into.
Now, just for the folks that are watching, listening, just to understand something and clarify, this is not astrology,
No,
and this is not numerology.
no.
This is a completely different thing
Yeah.
altogether.
Yep.
So, in the easiest way possible, how would you describe the difference between this and astrology and numerology?
Ooh, uh, in the easiest way possible. Well, intersects with and overlaps with both. It it is relying on numerology in the sense of it's using numbers to calculate your birth card.
Right.
And each of the cards in the deck has a number. Like the King of Hearts is the 13th card in the deck. 1 through 52, all the cards have a number. So it does overlap with numerology in terms of how your birth card is calculated. And then how your personality card of the 4 of clubs is calculated, that's based on the astrological sign that you're born into.
Okay.
Because you do have a life path of cards that are planetary cards, like a Mercury card, a Venus card, a Mars card, etc. So the way we find out your personality card is by knowing which sign you're born into. So there's a lot of overlap. How it's different is that I believe, with due respect to numerology and astrology, I believe this is the foundational system that shows how reality itself is constructed. It shows that we live in, as I said, an intelligently designed mathematical matrix. So it's the reason why, it shows us the reason why you could even do numerology calculations in the first place. The only reason you can is if you live in a mathematical construct. That's the only reason why number calculations would even work.
Right.
Same reason with like 90 degrees or 60 degrees in astrological calculations. The only reason those are precise is because we live in a mathematical construct. And this is the system that reveals what that construct is.
No, I played around with numerology right around the same time that I came across your material. And to me, honestly, it's fascinating. That in and of itself is fascinating. I did my name, where in
Sure.
So in numerology, just for folks who may not know that, each letter is assigned a numerical value, and you put them all together, then you add and subtract and so on and so forth, and you get this number. And the good thing is, I am not the Antichrist. So that's the good thing. But it's very interesting how, using the information that the cards showed for me almost exactly, with minute differences, to what the numerology information was.
Interesting.
Almost exactly. I mean, it's. I think the numerology side of it was a little bit more on the. I don't know. It seemed to focus a lot on what I'm doing right now as far as the podcast stuff goes. So it kind of leaned over that way. I'll share it with you off the show. I'll email it to you. I have enough files. But it's fascinating, and there are different ways of doing it. It's a whole big thing. So I got a better idea of who I am using the cards, and how I should be, and how and where I should be going, and what I should be moving towards to live a happier life.
Mm-hmm.
And then the numerology on top of that just like almost completed the picture, so to speak.
Okay.
It's interesting. Like when I send it to you, you'll understand, I think, a little bit better than I'm explaining it.
No, it makes perfect sense. I love that the different systems start to converge and give us a complete picture. I love talking about my human design, or my gene keys, my Vedic chart, my sidereal chart, my Western chart. I'm interested in all of it. And for me,
that's something I've never heard of, though. I've never heard of the Vedic chart.
Yeah, you can get a Vedic astrological reading.
So I know what the Vedas are, and that I'm aware of, but I never knew there was a Vedic chart that you could actually do for yourself.
Yeah, you can have a Vedic. Yeah, it's a whole different system, very different than Western astrology, Vedic astrology. You can also do Mayan astrology. They have a whole different system in that tradition as well. So I did do all these things, and I still, like I was just talking about my human design earlier today. And yet again, I come back to the cards as the simple foundation of it all. And there's something beautiful and elegant in the simplicity of it. And I think it was Leonardo da Vinci who said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication.
Mhm.
Like, the simpler that you can make it, like E equals MC squared, it's such a simple formula. So something about the simplicity of these cards is what brings me back to them as a starting point. And I had a choice also. I learned human design before I learned the cards, and I knew numerology and Enneagram. And when I first started out to do this work professionally, I thought, oh, I'll do triangulate readings for people. I'll bring in all these different systems all at once. It was too much. I couldn't
Yeah.
do it all. So I had to pick one. Like, okay, if I'm going to pick one, I'm going to pick these cards.
Now you don't do this by yourself. You have your wife. She's your
Yeah.
partner in this.
Mhm.
So how did the two of you come together in this?
We met at a cafe in Manhattan. There's a great story to that. I'm not sure how much we want to go into the detail of that. My wife loves the
It's up to you.
story. It's my favorite cafe that I would go where my office was at the time, and I would go for lunch almost every day there, get a coffee. And this one particular day, and there was so the window facing the street had a bar of stools, like an old school diner, kind of just bars facing out. And this one particular day, I go in to get my coffee, and this beautiful woman is sitting in the window. And it was a few years after I got divorced. I've been single for a while. I gave up on all the dating apps. Like, this it's just ridiculous. So I gave up on all that. Like, when it's happened, it's going to happen. And I set my intention that I was going to meet the right woman. So there she is sitting in the bar, sitting at the bar stools, looking out the window. It's a rainy day. I go get my coffee, and I'm coming back to walk outside. I'm like, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? What am I going to say? Trying to work up the courage to talk to her. She had a platter of food. Like, obviously they had just, the owners had placed the food there, getting ready for delivery, right next to her. So I'm standing by the door, and I go, is all that food for you? And she's like,
Smooth.
no. Yeah, right. That was very smooth. She said no, but I could tell by the smile on her face that she didn't think I was a jerk for talking to her. And so we just started talking, and it went from there. Now, her side of the story is that she was there because a friend told her to meet her there. And this friend was so flaky that the friend was always canceling, but this one particular day didn't cancel, and then showed up 45 minutes late. And the only reason we met was because she was sitting by herself and the friend was late. And
Wow.
she's never seen or talked to that friend since.
Wow,
So
that's interesting.
yeah, so that friend was like her divine appointment to bring her to that spot that day
Yeah,
so that we could meet.
absolutely. Wow, that's awesome. I love stories like that. I do. I have a bit of a romantic side.
You would with playing the King of
Yeah,
Hearts.
somewhere down buried here
Yeah, a
somewhere.
lot of passion, a lot of romance, the King of the Heart.
Yeah, it gets you in trouble sometimes too. So
Well, it can. I mean, you got a lot of passion. You're the
yeah,
king of the heart, the king of the passion, king of desire. You got a lot of it.
that's what I've been told. So, but no, that's a great story though. I do like those things. So we're in New York, because I'm from New York.
Okay. Where are you from?
I'm not a native Texan. I was born and raised in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn,
Okay.
and I lived on Staten Island before I
Yeah.
made my way out here to Texas. I worked for New York City for 23 plus years.
Okay.
So yeah, so
Right on. Yeah, we live in Brooklyn now. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, so I'm not native to New York, but I feel like a New Yorker. And whenever I go anywhere else, it's very clear to me that I'm a New Yorker.
Mhm.
The speed of things. I go get some
Yes.
food here, order the food. Minute later, the food is out. Go anywhere else in the country, that is not true.
Not at all, sir. Not at
No,
all. It
no.
it was a bit of a culture shock when I came down here. It was everything moves a little bit slower, and I talk fast, and people don't understand my sense of humor here either.
Why did you move to West Texas?
Okay, here's my story now.
Okay.
Okay, so I met a young lady who I had posted a picture on Instagram when Instagram first started. Don't know how she found it, but she did, and she commented on it. And I thought I was being punked by a friend, and I was like, "There's no way this beautiful girl is commenting on one of my pictures."
Hmm.
And so I waited a couple of days, got the courage up. I sent her a thank you note there, and it went from that to private messages back and forth, and then it was, well, here's my number, give a call, let's talk, and then the video calls. And after about 6 months of that, I flew down to Texas and I met her. Was crazy about her already. When I met her face to face, I was head over heels crazy in love with her. We ended up getting married. She moved up to New York with me, and we lived in New York until I retired, which wasn't long after I met her. I had like 3 years left to go. So she moved up there with me, and then when I retired, we came this way. And she's from here in Eagle Pass. When I met her, she was in Austin. Well, I'm sorry, no, she was in San Marcos. She was working in Austin, and came down here, and we, I figured we'll come back here. She'll, reconnect with her family, friends, and all that stuff. And it was great. We came down and got the job at the nursing facility that I work in now and do what I do. And then, unfortunately, though, 4 years ago, the marriage ended under very, very difficult circumstances. And
Sorry to hear that.
No, it's okay. It's fine. I mean, at the time, it was devastating, but right now, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm doing my show. I'm enjoying life, and I like my peace. I will say that. I enjoy the peace and the quiet. I get come
Did
home.
Did you look up her cards to play?
No, I never did. I should, right? Let me see. Let me pull it up again here.
What's her birthday?
September 1st. You got it up already?
No, I don't, but September 1st, I think that's 10 of diamonds. September 1st. Yeah, I think it's a 10 of diamonds.
Let's see. I'm getting it.
10 of diamonds, 8 of spades.
Why is my little internet thing here is just spinning at the moment?
Here, I can let me grab my book and I'll just look it up. Yeah, 10 of diamonds, 8 of spades. I can see why you were head over heels in love with her, and that would have been a very challenging dynamic for you.
So tell me why.
Leave
me hanging.
Well, how much do you like? Is she going to be watching this show? Like,
I
how
have
much?
no idea.
Probably. Well, the 10 of diamonds is the princess, and so she would shine very brightly and have a bright magnetism. She's also the Neptune card to your 4 of clubs personality, and that would mean there would be a dreamy look in your eyes when you see her. But then her 8 of spades persona, she would be a ball buster. And the 8 of spades is the Pluto to your 4 of clubs, and that would mean that there's a lot of hidden shadowy stuff, and that could be explosive, and could be some fierce fighting.
Yeah. Spot on, my friend. Spot on.
This is actually my wife's favorite part of this knowledge. We haven't even gotten into it until just now, that we can look up relationship dynamics in the cards.
Really?
And that's maybe the most helpful thing. I mean, it depends. I like the life purpose aspect of it, knowing our purpose. Like, you're here to be a leader of people, but then also the relationship patterns. So one of the ways that I tested out this knowledge early on was when I met my wife at the lunch counter. I found out her birthday right away, and found out that she is born to play the 5 of diamonds, which is my Venus card in my life path. Okay. That means she's a perfect match for me, because your Venus is what you're looking, as a man, is what you're looking for in a woman. So, like, wow, I met my Venus. This is perfect. But we weren't synced up. We were missing each other. And early on, we had a lot of moments of, we're like, are we just friends? Or what's going on here? And so I did a test for myself. Like, if these cards are accurate, it means she's a perfect romantic partner for me. And all the ways that I'm missing means that I'm still stuck in some old conditioning and some old programming. Or the cards aren't accurate, And I go with my instinct because my instinct was like, this isn't working. There's something off here. And I remember talking to a friend being like, I don't think this is going to work. So I made a choice. I'd like conscious guinea pig. I will test this out. If it's true, this knowledge, these cards, then it means that I'm the one who's wrong and the cards are right. So I tested it out. And sure enough, as I leaned into the relationship, slowly and surely the onion layers peeled away and I realized, oh crap, was still carrying a lot of baggage and conditioning about who I thought a woman should be and how I thought a woman should act in a relationship, what I thought a relationship dynamic should look like, all unconscious, still running in the background. That if I hadn't found these cards, if I didn't know these cards, we would have broken up because I didn't think it was working. The signals weren't connecting. And so we laugh about it now, but she's like, thank God you had these cards to help you. Because otherwise I would have been in my own head thinking this isn't working.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Wow. Yeah, I'm telling you, the more you get into these, the more you realize that this isn't some shtick. This isn't some, sleight of hand type thing. This is legitimate. This is based on a lot of truth.
I think so. And I've tested it out over the years. And you asked me earlier the main message of my book that I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Play Your Cards Right. The subtitle is, it's a sacred guide to life on earth. I don't know if you can see that on the screen.
We got it. Yeah.
It's a sacred guide. It's not flim flam. It's not for fortune telling. It's not like a carnival sideshow. This is sacred information that the Bible refers to when it refers to the book of life. That's what this is. None other than. It's just we have to get out of our own ego thinking it's just playing cards because, again, God makes foolish the wisdom of the world. We've all thought they were just playing cards. But what if they're not? And again, we'll only find out by testing it out for ourselves.
Now, you could use any playing cards for this, right? Or is there like a specific set of cards you're supposed to have?
You could use any cards, but over the years, I had a deck printed. So this is the 10 of diamonds in the deck that I had printed. Mm-hmm. We took off the numbers on the sides and the corners, and we elongated them back to the sacred geometric proportions of the golden rectangle. If you know sacred geometry, these cards they symbolize sacred geometry, and they are sacred geometry. So you can use any cards, but we had a deck printed that restores the cards to their sacred geometric proportions, the source cards.
Okay.
Yeah. We sell these on our website.
I was going to say you can get them on the website because everybody's seeing them up there.
Yeah.
And they're not expensive either. So you should grab them if you can.
Listen, I appreciate it. Thank you for your plugs. As I mentioned, it's been a challenging financial journey. It's been a true test of my faith. When I started out, my prayer, my bargain with God, if you will, was as long as you take care of my kids, I'll do this. I'll teach this knowledge. And my kids have been well taken care of. My kids have been well provided for. And I want to get this out in a bigger way and have more people know their cards. So I appreciate all your support in doing that.
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. Listen, if I didn't think that this was legitimate, I wouldn't do it.
Right.
I mean, I have my own personal experiences with it. I'm basing all my information off of that, and then you're just adding to it right now. So, and you're just validating the things that I've come across and the things that I've been reading on your own website, and I'm going to be looking into other things elsewhere as well, because this is truly fascinating to me. And I think that the more people dig into it, the more excited they're going to become about this stuff, because it does work. If you follow it, it works.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not a self-help book in a way, but in some ways it is.
Right.
Yeah,
and as a parent, I found it incredibly helpful for my kids. Mm-hmm. My kids have different cards to play than I do.
Sure.
And if I didn't know any better, I would try to get them to do things my way. But they have their own way that's different than mine. And I can see that in their cards to play. And then at my best, not always, but at my best, I can support them to do it their way.
Yeah, well, that's great. I have yet to pull my son's card. I got to do that.
What's his birthday?
June 13th,
How old is he?
25.
Okay. How old are you? You look like you're 35.
55. I'll be 56 this year.
Man, I gotta get some of what you're getting because you look young.
Hair dye.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just letting the grays do what they do.
I'm getting to the point where I have to, because I'm tired of doing it. I really am. If I let it go, it's all white. So
yeah,
no whiter than that.
Even that. What about your hair? Also?
Not so much, but
No?
the
Okay.
facial hair is. Yeah.
Got it. Say again. June 13th.
June 13th.
Okay, so your son is 4 of diamonds, and he's got a 2 of spades. The 4, that strength, and then the 2, he can be a really good partner, and yet also get a little codependent with that 2 of spades. But the 4 is very strong.
Mhm.
Like he's not gonna, no one's gonna push him around.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. And it could mean that the 2 of you would have had some of these kind of tete-a-tetes over the years.
We have.
Where the king is like, you will do what I say, and the 4 is like, no.
Yeah. We've had our fair share of those. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much him too. He's a good kid. He's a hardworking kid. You know.
He would be. That 4, if so, quick bit of free coaching advice is one of the most important things for him is to be easy on himself. He tends to take on a lot.
He is not.
That's why I'm telling you, because I know his cards. He tends to be really hard on himself. He's a slave driver to himself. He keeps piling on more for himself to do. And his inner monologue is very self-critical.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's important, as a parent, and I'm sure you love your son. I love my son to pieces. We want the best for them. And we like, how can I help? It's to support him to be gentle on himself, be easy on himself.
That's great advice. And interestingly, interesting thing about that is that that's how I kind of handle him. I've learned to do that over the years because I've seen where in the areas where we have collided, and I've learned how to adjust how I counsel him. I don't necessarily tell him what to do. I give him options. Say, well, you could do this, and this might happen. You could do this, and that might happen. You have to make the choice. But no matter which direction he goes, I'm there to support him.
Absolutely. And you're meant to lead with your heart anyway. So it isn't about follow the rules. It's about giving love.
Yep. And that's probably the most important thing to me anyway. When you're raising a child, you have to have that compassion. You have to have that love, and that you have to be a little firm too. But at the same time, it's coming from a place of love. It's because you don't want to see them make the mistake that you've made.
Right.
So,
and yet he's going to be very stubborn, and he's going to need to do things his own way because that's the 4 diamonds. So you're not going to be able to bend him to your will.
No, you're absolutely right on that one. That's another thing. That's spot on again. That's exactly the way that's his personality. He will do it his way. That's it. You can't help it.
He's very strong, and the good news about that is that when he believes in something, he's very firm and very strong and very principled in it. Like he will not back down from a fight.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, that's him. That's him to a T. To a T. All right, Alex. So who's somebody that you respect right now, and what are they doing that inspires you?
Wow. Well, I'm gonna take it in a direction. I mean, you asked it, so here we go. The person who I would say on the planet inspires me the most right now is Bobby Kennedy. What he's been through, the muck and the mire and the insults and people degrading his name and defaming his name, all because he wants kids to be healthy. You're like what?
Good one.
That's his MO. He wants kids to be healthy, get the crap out of the foods. Yeah, to have your vaccines, but limit them. Be smart about it. You don't need as many as you think. And let's make sure that we take the fluoride out of the water. Let's do all these things to help our health and well-being. And he has slogged a massive slog to get there. I followed his work for like 20 years.
Hmm.
My daughter had a vaccine injury, and that
I'm
led
sorry.
me down that rabbit hole. I wouldn't think to question vaccine. Who does? I didn't. But then when that happened, and there's a long story there, all of a sudden I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not alone. At the time, there were hundreds of thousands of people in Facebook groups, and then Facebook deleted those groups,
Of course.
but hundreds of thousands of parents talking about vaccine injuries with their kids. And that led me to Bobby Kennedy. And so I followed his work for a long time, and he inspires me so much. The way he handles it with grace, where people call him all kinds of names, and he handles it with grace, and he stays focused on his mission. I'm very inspired by him.
I agree with you on that. Hey, I think I have a lot of admiration for him. I think he's doing a spectacular job, and he's coming from the right place with it. You
Yeah,
know,
I think so.
it's the intention of, he wants to see our children healthier.
Yeah.
And that's huge. I mean, and to like to get all poetical, to suffer the slings and arrows
Yeah.
that get thrown at him.
Hmm.
He's really committed to his goal and his mission, and I have a lot of respect for that. And
His
so
own family turning against him is,
yeah,
like, really?
yeah,
Yeah. Anyway.
all over political ideology,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is ridiculous. I mean, it's
Totally
absolutely
ridiculous.
so. All right, well, Alexander, thank you. This was great, man. I loved this. This was a great conversation.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I feel like we could keep talking, and we can certainly talk off the air as well if you want to share some more juicy stories with
Yes,
me.
sir. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna wrap this thing up. If you
Yeah,
want to just hang on for a minute,
I will.
I'll be right with you. All
Awesome.
right, folks. Alexander Dunlop. So where can folks go to find more information about you and your works and get your book?
Thesourcecards.com. That's where you go, and it's all there.
All right, and we do already have that stuff plugged in for the show notes after the show to get uploaded, so we are ready to go with that. Again, Alexander, thank you. Appreciate this. This was fantastic. And folks, check out the website, check out the book, check out everything this guy has up on the site there, because stuff works.
Thank you.
Stuff really works. All right, so we'll be back in a second with you, buddy. Hang on.
Okay.
All right, folks. So Alexander Dunlop, what a great conversation tonight, man. This was fantastic. I love this. I was looking forward to this since November. So fantastic. Really appreciated it. All right, folks. So just a couple of things really quickly so we could wrap this baby up. Well, it is tax season. And as you know, my position on taxes, taxation is theft. Taxation is theft, folks. It is absolutely theft. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But there are places out there to help you navigate your way through. The headphones came off anyway. There is a place that can help you navigate your way through all of the trials and tribulations of filing your taxes. And right here in Eagle Pass, I want to tell you about one of them. I want to tell you about Diamond Dynasty Tax Group Legacy. Local company right here in Eagle Pass, Texas. They do fantastic work. They really helped me with my taxes last year. They maximized my refund. They also minimized all the stress involved with it. But you have to make the phone call. So give them a call at 830-867-7106. That's 830-867-7106. Diamond Dynasty Tax Group Legacy. Check them out. Give them a call. Get a consultation, and let them do your taxes for you. All right? You won't be disappointed. And don't forget, taxation is theft. Regardless. Shouldn't have to pay taxes. It's immoral. All right. Let's see what else we got here. All right. So our shout outs, as usual, to our producing team, executive producer Wayne Rankin, Rosanna Rankin, Carolina Jimenez, Marissa Lee, and the inestimable Anonymous Angela. Thank you, folks, for all the work that you do toward the show. I do appreciate that. And we wouldn't be able to do the show without them. These folks donate their time, their talent, their treasure to help put the show together. And really do appreciate all of it. Wouldn't be able to do what we do without any of them. So, again, thank you, folks. Now, if you want to help us out and you want to find out more about how you can support the show, just visit the website, joerooz.com/support. joerooz.com/support. Close my banners. Sorry. There we go. And just look at all the different ways you can help us out. You can do a one-time donation, a recurring monthly donation, or if you want to sign up to be a producer of the show, there are monthly tiers for that. You can do an associate producer, executive producer. All the producers get a shout out on every show, just like you just heard. They also get included in all our show notes, any emails that we send out from the show. And the executive producers actually get to book a segment on the show with us. That's why we do the Wednesday with Wayne segment on Wednesday evenings. So check it out. And if you have the means to do it and you're able and you're willing, we appreciate all the support you can get. All right, folks, I do believe that is all that I have for you tonight. So once again, thanks for taking the time to be with us tonight. Don't forget to head over to the website, open up the web form, send us over a message, let us know what you think. Also, don't forget, you can email us at info@joerooz.com, info@joerooz.com, and drop a comment. We'd love to hear from you guys. All right, folks, make Texas independent again. Go podcasting, keep a steady stride, and keep talking. We'll see you tomorrow night, folks. Take care. Have a great night.